Good morning. So, just want to have a little moan this morning. I'm walking to work. It's a lovely morning. But I feel compelled to have a little moan about a basic lack of consideration. So, I run to London at least once a week. No, I'll start again. I don't run to London. I go to London and I run from Euston to my office once a week. Don't run to London. That's a bit too far. So, I run to my office from Euston at least once a week. Now, the stretch of road outside Euston that I travel down, about the first 3/4 of a mile to maybe a mile, can be quite full of tourists. And it doesn't matter if it's a weekend, if it's a weekday. It's early in the morning, but there can be lots of tourists around. Fine. London is a place that's popular with tourists from all over the world. But I'm running along the pavement, and it's one of those things, right? We all, most people, anyway, generally do it. We see someone coming in our direction, and we move a little bit to one side. They move a little bit to one side. And because we've both moved a little bit to one side, we have room to pass each other quite comfortably. That's generally how it works. And this is it's like a basic principle. Right? They don't teach it in schools, or at least they didn't when I was in school. They don't teach you to move around people a little bit when they're walking on the pavement and you're walking on the pavement. They don't teach it in schools. Do you know why? Because it's basic as fuck and doesn't need teaching to anybody. So, I'm running along, going along the pavement, and there's a group of tourists coming in, about 6 or 7 of them, and they're clearly tourists. Now, I know you can't pigeonhole people just by looking at them, but I've done the journey enough times to recognise when I'm seeing people on their way to or from work, or seeing tourists being tourists. And they're walking along, and because there's like 6 or 7 of them, they cover the whole width of the pavement from like the wall to the curb. Right? Now I can see in the journey between me and them, there is a litter bin and a bus stop. So there's a couple of obstacles, right, that is going to make the pavement space less than what it currently is now. And they see me coming, right? They can see me. I'm really not far away. I'm running at them. And they make absolutely zero moves to move out the way in the slightest. Not even a tiny bit. Right? Not one of them moves. Because normally, if you're on a group of people, especially if someone's coming in the opposite direction, if one of you kind of moves a bit, everyone does. We're kind of a bit like sheep in that regard. Like, we all do it. Just do it instinctively. Not one of them fucking moved. Not one. So, now I had already, because I'm not a flipping moron, I had already moved to one side of the pavement. Because I could kind of see it was kind of obvious that, you know, I needed to move. You probably heard just then. A bike just went past me. The guy rang his bell. So I knew he was coming towards me. I moved to one side. He went the opposite side of me. We passed each other. No dramas. Right? It's so easy, it beggars belief. So no. So I've got this tourist. None of them move. I've moved to one side of the pavement. I'm coming up on them like pretty quick. The bus stop is looming as well. So what did I have to do? So I didn't have to stop. I had to kind of sort of look behind me, make sure there wasn't a bus pulling in, and then step out into the road and run in the road down the bus lane until I passed the bus stop and this group of tourists, and then back up onto the pavement. What the fuck is that all about? I know you could kind of say, well, look, you know, why should they have to like accommodate you? Why can't you just stop and like let them pass or whatnot? Why the fuck should I? You know, I'm not expecting them to stop for me. All I'm expecting, and I don't think it's a lot to ask, but I'm just expecting them to at least move a little bit so I can manoeuvre around. And again, I've done the same thing. I've moved to one side of the pavement so they can manoeuvre past me. And it's just... It just beggars belief to me how people could just be that stupid. Now, you know, you could you could say, well, maybe they're tourists from a country where people don't kind of move out the way for each other on the pavement. Yeah, that may be so. But I've run through London enough times to pass lots of people, and London's a hodgepodge of people from all over the world. As its residents, I would bet money that I've run past people who are from other countries, not country, other countries, and they've kind of seen me coming and they've moved a little bit and I've moved a little bit and we've been on our merry way without bumping into each other. So I find it highly unlikely that tourists, there's ever any countries where people just don't move for each other on the pavement, because people will be bumping into each other left, right and centre. So yeah, so it pissed me off because, like I say, it's really common on that first stretch. It's like people are like, well, I don't live here, so I'm just going to be a twat. And I find outside the hotels, so there's a few hotels on the route, and again, I'm running along and I can see in the distance there's an entrance to a hotel, and there's a couple of people, Dave and Sharon, with their suitcases in the middle of the freaking pavement. Dave's vaping, he's got his little tin penis out and he's smoking his lemon ice or his blueberry crush or whatever, cookie dough. And they're stood in the middle of the pavement waiting for a taxi. And it's like, okay, so you woke up, had your continental breakfast, come out with your missus and your suitcases to wait for your taxi, and have plonked right in the middle of the pavement. Not right by the curb, which is where your taxi's going to pull up. Not sort of near the hotel or near the wall, so you're not in the way. Right in the fucking middle. And it just astounds me how many adults I come across that just don't have that basic concept of consideration for the people. It really does. It beggars belief to me. I can't understand it. Now, you could kind of go, well, yeah, maybe people think that you're a runner, you can just run around them. That might be the case, but if you're walking towards someone and they're walking towards you and it's a narrow pavement, you don't go, oh, well, they're a walker, so they'll just walk around me. No, what should occupy your little tiny brain case at the time is, there's not a lot of space, someone's coming towards me, I'll move a bit out of the way. And the way that the universe works in harmony is you both have that thought at the same time. Like I say, you're not taught it in school, it just develops as you grow up. You both do the same action and it stops a collision. But yeah, these people, and like I say, it's predominantly tourists. That same stretch, see people walking to work, walking from work, whatever. Like I say, it's easy to differentiate the two when you've done it enough times. They move out the way. It's so simple. But no, the tourists don't. They're just like, oh, I don't give a shit, you just go around me. Or you just run into the fucking road and get squished by a bus. Honestly, it really does. It literally pumps my nads, because it's such a simple thing to do. It's just, yeah, ridiculous. I struggle to find the words. It's a bit like when I try and describe my feelings towards Trump. I just end up speechless and cannot find the words to explain it. It's just, yeah, ridiculous. But yeah, anyway, that was my moan. Just that basic lack of consideration. But I do just want to mention, now I get everyone should be the main character in their own life, but there is, and it seems to be getting worse, I think. Maybe it's just what algorithms pop up for me on social media, but it seems to be getting worse in the sense of this main character syndrome that a lot of people are having. And I know you should be the main character in your own life, but I think there's a responsibility that kind of comes with that yeah, you should be the main character, but your actions shouldn't negatively impact your fellow man, at least not intentionally. And there was no evidence of that the other day. And even though that was a one-off sort of scenario that I've mentioned. If you ask me to count up how many times I've had to do the same thing, I've had to look behind me, to not have to stop, and I've had to look behind me to see if there is a bus coming or a car or anything, so that I can run into the road, so I don't run into people that have made no effort to move for me. I couldn't honestly count. I would say it happens probably at least once on each run, and considering I do that once, sometimes twice a week, and have done for about a good couple of years, I should give you some idea as to how much I have to do it. It's almost just become normal now that I just see a group of people, I can, in that split second, they've made no effort to move, so I just have to look behind and run into the road. It just really does. It just pumps my nads. It pumps them immensely. So yeah. Anyway, what do you think? Am I right in thinking like that? Or am I being out of order? Let me know in the comments.